We have been phenomenal. Allegheny Health Network has today vaccinated over 310,000 individuals, and 18.8% of those vaccinated have been underrepresented minorities. Those individuals have been the hardest to reach, but we've reached them. We've gone to them. They have not come to us. We're really proud that we have really taken the lead and done phenomenally in this area of making sure underrepresented minorities got the vaccine.
Welcome to the third annual Brown Mama Monologues Virtual Edition, presented by Allegheny Health Network. Get ready to laugh, cry, clap, and smile as 8 moms tell their stories of trial and triumph through motherhood. To lead us through this night of emotional upsets and hysterical joy, we bring to the stage the CEO of When She Thrives and the bounce back queen of the women's empowerment movement, Mrs. Tiffany Huff-Strothers.
Good evening, mamas. Thank you for joining me for the Brown Mama Monologue Showcase. I am so excited to be here with you. Before we kick this thing off, I want you to give yourself a round of applause. Sis, we made it. 2020 was rough. No toilet paper in the stores. The kids were eating all the food. We got people getting shot down in the streets. It was hard. But this is what the Brown Mama Monologue Showcase is all about, us coming together not only to support one another, but to celebrate and to heal. And that is what this show is going to provide the space for you to do. If you have not already, number one, text your friend or tag her and let her know that she needs to log on, grab your wine, your coffee, your tea, or your snacks, whatever you need. And don't forget the tissues, because you know we get there and we start to cry. We shed a few tears, but it's going to be a great show. So I want to welcome you. And again, thank you for being here with me. And listen, I know, because I've been Zooming for the last year and a half, just like y'all, we only have so much of a Zoom attention span. So we are going to kick this thing right into gear. Listen, we are starting out with a phenomenal Dr. Lisa Pickett, and she is going to take us on a journey that unfortunately so many of us have had to take, because as mamas, we do whatever we have to do to provide for our children. And sometimes, y'all, we find ourselves in a place where we are pregnant and poor. Dr. Lisa Pickett was no exception, and she is taking you on a journey with her monologue, Welfare Shame.
And now introducing Lisa Pickett.
Hey girl, I see you. You better run. Run, little black girl. Run as fast as you can before it gets you to that lust. Snatch you up so quick, you won't even know what hit you. You'll wake up, look in the mirror, and there she will be. Oh, your worst nightmare. Young, barefoot, black, pregnant, and alone. I'm warning you. You better learn today. You have got to be more than pretty. Keep them legs closed. Get you an education, a career. Make your own money. Be independent. I'm warning you. You better run. Too late. You're it. Now go on up them steps and do what you need to do before that baby get here. No. Not me. I did what I'm supposed to do. I graduated from high school with honors. I got a full scholarship. I went to college. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I prayed. I was a good girl. Yet and still, despite all my good intentions, there I was at the bottom of the steps of the welfare office. 22 years old, 7 months pregnant, no job, no man, and no place to call my own. I walked up those steps and through those glass doors, and I waited as a security guard patted me down as if he were searching for a roach to kill. He grunted as I looked around, trying to figure out what to do next. Take the blue number, take the paperwork, go to the blue section where the blue chairs are, fill out the paperwork, sit down, and you wait. Well, being that I was dumb enough to end up there in the first place, I did as I was told to do. I took the paperwork, I sat down, I filled it out, and I waited. 2 hours later, my behind no longer agreed with the hard, dilapidated blue chairs arranged in rows of 10. My belly, my hard belly, so full of life, smothered in the very shame that I had tried so hard to run away from. So much shame that I had laid on the floor on a mattress, staring at 2 black garbage bags containing all of my belongings for an entire week, hauled up in a spare bedroom my grandparents had allowed me to sleep in until I could get myself together. So much shame that I had lost my ability to sleep. I had lost my ability to take a shower, lost my ability to eat. The only thing that I didn't lose was my ability to hear the whispers of my grandparents tapping at the door. Now, look at that child. She the only one to go to college, and here she come pregnant with no man, weeks before graduation. He done went and found another one, and she's sitting in there staring at garbage bags with a swollen belly. My God, my God, my God, what has this world come to, Jesus? Listen, woman, she don't even look right being pregnant. That nigga done what a man's supposed to do. Took advantage of one dumb woman and moved on to the next. Opening up them legs is what got her into trouble, not that nigga. The whispers of shame were so loud. My head hurt. My body ached. I couldn't catch my breath. And then, finally, 1 hoagie, 2 cans of pop, a Twinkie, and 2 smoke breaks later, the security guard finally called my number. He escorted me down a long hallway. Sit there and you wait. Someone will be out soon. A woman entered and she called my number, the number 98. Right here. She escorted me into her cubicle. She motioned for me to take a seat as she quickly looked over my application. Sit down, honey. Just give me a second. Let me look at your application and see what we have going on here. Okay. It says here you are 22 years old and 7 months pregnant. Okay. Let's see. And, oh, wait a minute. It says here you have a college degree. Yes, ma'am. That is correct. If you don't mind me asking, why aren't you working? Well, I'm 7 months pregnant. I just graduated from college. No one will hire me in my current condition. Honey, what college did you go to? Clarion University. Oh, that's my alma mater. You're an Eagle too? The hair on my arms stood at attention. Goosebumps were ready to leap. And then my eyes locked square on a set of keys on her desk, held together by the same damn sorority keyring in my purse. This woman went to the same college as me. She was in the same sorority as me. Sorority girl, homecoming queen, Black Student Union president, honor student in the welfare office, applying for cash, food stamps, and medical. The humiliation was real. She noticed me staring at the keychain. She squinted her eyes ever so slightly and asked, "Did you pledge any sororities?" No, I did not. She leaned back in her chair and scanned me from the floor up. I waited. Finally, she got back to the intake process and she said, "Well, being that you are pregnant, you will qualify for assistance. Now, if you're interested, we do have housing available at the Westgate Village Projects. Is that something you would be interested in?" I'm sorry, did you say Westgate Village Projects? Correct, I did. The thought of having to go back to the very projects that I had spent so many years trying to get away from caused a sharp pain to run down my belly and through my spine. I quietly yelled, "Hell no!" and politely responded, "No, thank you," as I stood to leave. It was then that I damn near drowned in the trail of shame as I walked back down that long hallway and past the waiting area. Stupid. I knew better. How had I allowed myself to be bamboozled by a man who could abandon me while carrying his child? I knew better. As I stepped out of that welfare office, the cocktail of rage, shame, betrayal, and sadness had rendered me mute. Temporarily. 22 years later, I stand before you today. Eventually, got off that welfare, delivered that baby, a beautiful 7-pound baby girl. Slowly got myself together, started a successful teaching career, went past go, collected a master's degree, doctorate degree, started 2 small businesses. And that little baby girl that sat in my belly in the welfare office, she grew up to be a beautiful, successful, intelligent, young African-American female who recently graduated from college with a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from Columbia University. And when she comes home to visit, I know I will stare at her just a little bit too long, as usual, and she will say, "Mom, what are you looking at?"
I told y'all to get the tissues. I don't know about you, but that was a little bit of a tearjerker for me. I have never heard a trip to the welfare office described in that way. Lisa is a powerful storyteller. And the next mama to take the stage is no different, because we are dealing with so much uncertainty right now with being in the pandemic. We don't know if this is the beginning of the pandemic, the middle, but we all want it to be the end. And so our next powerhouse coming to the stage is Muffy Mendoza, the mind, the brains, the visionary behind the Brown Mama Monologue Showcase and Pittsburgh Brown Mamas. And she is going to bring us to one place on one accord with the state of Black motherhood. Give it up for Muffy, y'all.
What's up, y'all? In true pandemic style, I am greeting you all dressed up. I hope I look cute from my dining room. So welcome to the 3rd annual Brown Mama Monologues, and I'm just here to give y'all a little bit of words about what it means to be in a state of Black motherhood in 2021. To be in a state of Black motherhood in 2021 means to feel empowered, inspired, and affirmed by the sisters around you as we see Black women supporting, promoting, and loving on each other as we've never seen before. It means to be in a space and place where it is righteous to explore the deepness of the Black female soul and mind. Yes, we were all rocked by an international pandemic, but for so many Black women, 2020 was the year we reclaimed ourselves. As Black women took to their homes, their children, their gardens, their mental health as we never seen before. We are building momentum, creating and joining movements, moving into entrepreneurship like never before, and spawning new ideas as we reclaim the peace and prosperity that was stolen from so many of us. Indeed, there are so many reasons to be optimistic about being in a state of Black motherhood in 2021. Now, typically, this is the part where you can expect that I might go about listing all of the bitterness that often is coupled with being in a sweet state of Black mothering. But I'm not, because we are here. We are here in our space at the 3rd annual Brown Mama Monologues. We are amongst one another. We know our trials and triumphs, our hills, valleys, and victories that come with inhabiting a space as unique as being the children of enslaved Africans on American soil who've still not received the proper acknowledgement, apology, and atonement that should come with having endured the atrocities experienced in the 3 rivers of this city and from California to the New York Islands. We are still waiting. But as we wait, let us be reminded of what it means to be in a state of Black motherhood. It means that we must embody the elements that created the first human being, thereby the first Black woman. We must be in a state of earth, able to withstand the trampling of 1 billion cars and the spraying of toxic chemicals on not only ourselves, but the seeds we bear, while simultaneously feeding, birthing, and sustaining life. We must be air. We must be in a state of water, swirling, twirling, and seeping into every crevice that will allow even the slightest of visitors to peek into rooms, spaces, and worlds unknown, quietly, able to shape and mold ourselves and our environments until we are strong enough, both within and with numbers, to rock Earth like tsunamis, unnoticed, until it is in reach. We must be water. We must be air, quiet but uncontained, unseen until felt, clear as glass but moving all colors it touches, silent but deadly. We must be air. We must be fire, raging death when necessary, but invitingly creating homes of warmth, love, kindness, peace, rapturing with nourishment. We must be fire. We must be both the daughters of wrathful Oya and the nurturing mothers of Yemaya, embracing the loyalty and commitment of the Black Madonna Mary and relentless leadership of Hatshepsut. Being in a state of Black motherhood in 2021 means one thing resoundingly: live your legacy. You know now, you are not alone. You know now, you did not come from nothing, but rather have been a part of everything since the beginning. Live that. Breathe that. Embody that. And when you think about being in a state of Black mothering, remember that it will be as you will it be. It will be as you think it be. It will be as you command it be. Ashe, sisters. Enjoy the show. Enjoy our show. Enjoy your show. The 3rd annual Brown Mama Monologues.
I told y'all to get them journals. I hope y'all got them gems that Muffy dropped. And she's so passionate about the work and about motherhood. It all comes straight from the heart. So I hope you were paying attention and you got those wisdom nuggets that Muffy was dropping. Now we are going to make a little bit of a shift. You know, through the pandemic, we watched much more TV. We did much more Netflix and chilling because they wouldn't let us go outside and there was nothing else to do. And I think it is on Thursday nights when we can get all of the Love and Hip Hop shows, right? In a lot of circles, and part of the culture is being a ride or die for your dude, right? No matter what he does or doesn't do. But our next speaker is coming to tell you that she has too much purpose to ride or die. I am so excited to introduce you to Takia Corbin.
And now introducing Takia Corbin.
Police, get on the floor. My first thought, my son. I tried to grab him, but before I could, I'm face down on the floor. Am I dreaming? This is a nightmare. Ma'am, be still. My thoughts were rudely interrupted by the policeman cuffing me on the floor. I instantly looked up and I mouthed to him, everything in here is yours. I'm not to ride or die. I know there's only 2 ways out of this game, and I knew which one was ours. My son's father, aka Bay, was going to prison. I was supposed to be his rider, right? I was supposed to weather this storm with him, right? I was supposed to be in his corner, but I knew I did not want to ride. What would the streets say about me? They would label me a hoe, weak, a gold digger. Yeah, that's the stuff that they would say about me. So that made my decision even more harder to make. Bay went on a run, and he was drinking his sorrow away, and I was sleeping my days away, which meant that I didn't really know how to be a mom at this time. How was I going to do this family thing well without my family? So many thoughts playing in my head, so many emotions. But one thing my mom always told me, what goes on in this house stays in this house. And I wasn't telling nobody what was going on in my house. So I learned to bottle my emotions like a pro. And then I began to do the only thing I knew left to do. I began to pray. I remember praying a specific prayer. God, please, just lead me to my passion. My passion will lead me to my purpose. If no one never told you before, I'll be the first to tell you. Be careful what you pray for. My answered prayer came into me moving into a 1-bedroom in my grandmother's house with my 1-year-old son. Really, God? Really? But as soon as I walked into my grandmother's house, it was such a freeing spirit. Won't he do it? So I'm in my grandmother's house. I'm getting settled. My grandma was not with him staying the night, so he stayed over here and there. Then 2 things happened. 1, I had a dream. Yes, like Martin Luther King, I had a dream. I went to bed one night, and all of my friends was glowing and growing. Their kids was growing up. My son hasn't aged a bit, and guess what? I was still in the corner texting Bay. I woke up and was like, if I stay with him, I'm going to be stuck. That wasn't enough for me to leave. I still stayed with Bay. Then a second thing happened. I was in church, and the preacher was prophesying over people. I walked down to the pulpit in what felt like the longest 2 minutes of my life. I was walking down the aisle. I said to myself, God, what do you got to say to me? I know I've been doing stupid stuff. The preacher grabbed my hands. She immediately said, you have a decision to make, but you're afraid you're going to be alone. She said, you'll never be alone. It's always going to be you, God, and your baby. She said, now go make the decision that you need to go to free yourself. I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried because I knew the decision that I had to make. Finally, Bay turned himself in. I turned in my rider card as well. I found a new car, a coupe to be exact, with 2 seats for my son and I. I then began to view motherhood from a different perspective. I began to like myself, I began to love myself and date myself. In order to do those things, I had to learn to love myself, to give my son the proper love that it was needed. To give him the love that I've been yearning and desiring from a man, I gave it to my son. He needed me. He needed me to show up for me. So in those moments, I was able to get an idea to write a book. I did that. I started a business, and I began to view motherhood from a different perspective. I then decided that if he had clothes on his back, food on the table when he got home from school, and a love in my heart, that was enough. I was enough. I was enough for my son. He had a happy single mother than a mother that would be miserable, and I chose to ride for the wrong side.
Yes, Takia, come through. If we didn't learn anything else during this pandemic, it is that Black mamas have too much purpose to be caught up in some ride or die nonsense. Listen, through this pandemic, we have done the absolute most. We talking about Stacey Abrams in these streets, rallying the people of Georgia to shift and change the world as we know it. We talking about electing our first Black woman vice president. That is purpose, y'all. And Brown Mamas always wants to recognize a mom who is out here in these streets with purpose, doing the work to protect and serve and challenge and help grow the mamas so that we can take care of our families in ways we never knew possible. Allegheny Health Network is also out here in these streets supporting us brown mamas as we do said work. We talking about mental health support. We're talking about making sure everybody's needs are met and we are healthy even in the midst of so much uncertainty. This year, we are bringing Dr. Danielle Smith from Allegheny Health Network to present to you the Clutch Mama Award. Give her a round of applause, y'all, right there from your couch.
Even before the pandemic, this woman has been on a one-woman mission to make sure that single mamas everywhere have their basic needs met. From Pittsburgh to Los Angeles, Raynell Jones and the Lifesavers of the Alignment Chapter have delivered diapers, laundry detergent, and more to the mamas and children that need it most. Raynell embodies the Brown Mama motto by working every day to help moms. Presenting our Clutch Mama of the Year, Mrs. Raynell Jones.